Drifting is more than just a motorsport. It's an art form, a culture, and a lifestyle. Whether you've seen it in Initial D Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift or real-life competitions like Formula Drift and D1 GP, drifting has captivated gearheads around the world. But at the core of this sideways driving madness lies one essential component: the car. The perfect drift car isn't just about power or speed. It's about balance, chassis dynamics, weight distribution, and most importantly, the ability to break traction with precision and control. Today, we're diving into the top 10 best drift cars of all time, a list packed with legends that have shaped the sport into what it is today. Let's kick off this list with a bit of an underrated gem. The Lexus IS 300, or Toyota Altezza, as it's known in Japan. At first glance, this might not seem like an obvious drift car, but under the hood lies a 2JZGE, the naturally aspirated version of the legendary engine found in the Supra. What makes the IS 300 special is its smooth, rear-wheel drive platform, solid weight distribution, and affordability compared to some of the bigger-name JDM legends. With the right modifications, coilovers, an LSD, and maybe a turbo kit, it can become a serious drift weapon. The Altezza RS 200, which came with a high-revving 3SGE engine, is also popular among grassroots drifters in Japan. When Toyota and Subaru teamed up to create the GT86, BRZ, and FRS, they had one thing in mind: driving pleasure. These cars aren't about raw power, they're about perfect balance. With a low center of gravity, lightweight chassis, and rear-wheel drive, the 86/BRZ is one of the best modern entry-level drift cars. While the stock 2.0-liter or 2.4-liter boxer engine isn't the most powerful, it's enough to get sideways, especially with a tune or forced induction. Drifters love these cars because they feel natural in a slide. They're easy to control, predictable, and a blast to throw around. Plus, the aftermarket support is massive, with angle kits, turbo kits, and suspension upgrades readily available. Heading over to Europe, we've got the BMW E36 and E46 M3. While JDM cars dominate the drift scene, BMWs have made a serious impact, especially in European drifting. What makes the E36 and E46 M3 so special? It all comes down to the perfect weight distribution and smooth inline-six engines. The S50, S52, and S54 engines are high-revving, durable, and provide plenty of power to break the rear loose. The chassis is well-balanced, making it easy to transition between drifts, and the aftermarket support is huge. Whether you're a grassroots drifter or a pro, the E36 and E46 M3 have proven themselves as capable drift machines worldwide. When people think of drift cars, they usually think of lightweight JDM machines. But let's not forget that Ford's Mustang has cemented itself as a serious drift competitor, especially in recent years. The Fox-body Mustang has long been a favorite among budget drifters, thanks to its cheap price, rear-wheel drive, and powerful V8 engines. However, the modern S550 Mustang took things to another level. With an independent rear suspension, IRS, and a well-balanced chassis, it became a true drift weapon. Vaughn Gittin Jr. proved to the world that the Mustang could hold its own in Formula Drift, competing against the best JDM legends. With a Coyote 5.8, the Mustang has endless torque, making it easy to break traction in any gear. The Nissan 350Z and 370Z have become some of the most accessible and reliable drift cars in recent years. With a rear-wheel drive layout, a torquey VQ series engine, and a strong aftermarket, these cars are drift-ready from the factory. One of the biggest advantages of the Z cars is their affordability. They're relatively cheap to buy and easy to modify. The VQ35DE and VQ37 VHR engines provide plenty of power, and with some tuning, they can compete with the best. Chris Forsberg has dominated in Formula Drift with the 370Z, proving that these cars are serious contenders at all levels of drifting. No car list is complete without mentioning the Toyota Supra, one of the most iconic JDM cars ever made. Both the A80 MMK4 and A90 MMK5. Supras have made their mark in the drifting world. The A80 Supra, with its legendary 2JZG-TE engine, has insane tuning potential. With simple bolt-ons, it can push 500 to 600 horsepower, more than enough for serious drifting. While it's a bit heavier than other JDM icons, proper setup can make it a beast on the track. The A90 Supra, co-developed with BMW, brought back the Supra legacy with modern technology. The B58 engine is incredibly tunable, and its short wheelbase makes it snappy and fun to drift. It's already showing up in professional competitions, proving that the Supra is here to stay. The Nissan Skyline GTR is a legend in motorsports, but for drifting, the rear-wheel drive GTS versions, R32, R33, R34, are where the magic happens. Unlike the AWD GTRs, the GTS models come with rear-wheel drive and RB series engines, making them perfect for drifting. The RB25DET is a fantastic engine, with great power potential and a smooth power band. The Skyline chassis is well-balanced, and the long wheelbase makes it stable at high speeds. Whether it's the R32, R33, or R34, these cars have made a huge impact in the drift world. Few cars in drifting history are as iconic as the Mazda RX-7. The FC and FD generations have both left their mark, thanks to their rotary engines and lightweight chassis. The 13B rotary engine might not be the most reliable, but its rev, happy nature, and high power potential make it a drifter's dream. The FC RX-7, with its boxy design, was a favorite in the early days of drifting. The FD RX-7, with its curvy body and near-perfect weight distribution, became one of the most beautiful and effective drift cars ever made. Legendary drifters like Mad Mike Whittet have pushed the RX-7 to its limits, proving that rotary power is alive and well in drifting. The Toyota AE86 isn't the fastest, most powerful, or most expensive drift car, but it's one of the most legendary. Thanks to Initial D, the AE86 became a drift icon. Its lightweight chassis, high-revving 4AGE engine, and perfect balance make it one of the purest drifting experiences out there. Keiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King, made the AE86 famous in the early days of drifting. Even today, people still drift these cars, proving that power isn't everything. At the top of the list, we have the Nissan Silvia, the ultimate drift car. The S13, S14, and S15 generations have dominated drifting for decades. With rear-wheel drive, lightweight chassis, and tunable SR20DET engines, the Silvia is a perfect drift platform. From grassroots drifters to Formula Drift champions, the Silvia has been a staple in the drift scene. It's easy to modify, fun to drive, and incredibly balanced. If there's one car that defines drifting, it's the Nissan Silvia.